Ah! Let's go! All right, so my name is Michael DeLu, and you are tuned in to Pull Up the Tape. Before I get into any of the politics and all my introduction and all that stuff, I want to continuously extend gratification and thank yous to everybody who's supporting me right now. It's not a lot, and I do see it. I love it, and I want to assure everybody who's listening to this or watching this that I'm not stopping anytime soon. Like, the Lord has to call me up for me to stop doing what I'm doing because I love it so much. And I just want to continuously thank everybody who's supporting me right now in my early stages and my beginning stages. I do love it, and I will remember it. I will cherish it even when I'm the biggest podcast in the world, all that. So, again, my name is Michael DeLu, and you're tuned in to Pull Up the Tape. For those of you who are listening to this podcast via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or any of the other apps other platforms that my podcast is distributed through Anchor, do me a favor and share this podcast with anybody you know that loves sports. Okay, football, basketball, soccer, MMA. Sometimes I even talk about baseball. I talk about baseball. I think I'm gonna talk about baseball later on in today's episode as well. And if you're watching this podcast on my YouTube channel, Pull Up the Tape, man, do me a quick favor. It only takes a couple seconds. Like this video, comment on the video for engagement, purposes. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit the bell notification. Subscribe and then hit the bell notification. It honestly helps me immensely as to get to where I'm trying to go. Helps me in the algorithm. It just helps immensely. And let's get into today's politics. So it was announced on Thursday that, it was announced. The SEC announced on Thursday that they will follow the blueprint that the Big Ten and Pac-12 are adopting for the 2020 college football season. And for those of you guys who don't know, the Pac-12 and Big Ten will only be playing conference games. So there's no out-of-conference games. The conference officials of the SEC are pushing back the start date of the season for its member schools back to September 26th, I apologize, which will delay which is about a 3-week delay. So it was supposed to start the first week of September. It's going to start the last week of September. SEC teams will play 6 games against teams from their own division and then 4 games against non-divisional teams. So the only person who is restarting their season that isn't following the same template, same format is the ACC, as the ACC they're going to have 10 in-conference games and 1 out-of-conference game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Notre Dame is going to be allowed to compete in the ACC this year and will be eligible to win the championship. That now, and honestly, oh, also it's very important to know this is all just based as of right now. This still their season still can get canceled based on because all these schools are in different states, and different states have different orders for how COVID is happening in their state and the severity of the situation, the number of cases. Like, for example, the Pac-12 has about 4 schools: USC, UCLA, Stanford, and Cal. California has the most cases of COVID in the entire country. So, I mean, this is all based on state laws and governor approval and just a bunch of state mandates and stuff like that. Still have to go through but this is what's being proposed. This is what they plan. But in an improving society and scenario, because I wouldn't say perfect, because if it was a perfect scenario, we wouldn't be in this situation with the whole COVID nonsense. That's what's going to happen. It's a possibility. It could be it doesn't happen like that, or they have to push it back again, or different stuff like that. Because I know community college sports are pushed back to the spring. But Thursday's news leaves the Big 12 as the lone Power 5 conference to have not made a decision on COVID-19 and their season. So, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I'm extremely happy that they're willing to do this because I love sports and I want to see it. If it's safe to do it. If it's not, don't. And in the event that it becomes unsafe, like they should just not do it and cancel the season because just it doesn't make sense for them not to. Okay, at the end of the day, these kids they're student athletes and they have families, and they need these schools and these conferences need to do what's in the kids' best interest, and I understand money needs to be made and stuff like that, but let's not do it at the jeopardy of the kids. And also, the reason why I continue to lament the fact that this is pending is because doctors and medical experts are saying the NCAA should follow, should once again adhere to whatever the governing state says and stuff like that when it comes to these things, as well as follow and monitor how the NFL is handling their situation. The NFL, and bringing up the NFL, the Bills just canceled their sent players home because five rookies tested positive for COVID-19. So they halted what they were doing today and they halted what they were doing yesterday and then sent all players home. And I don't know if this is a possible outbreak that's happening within their locker room or what exactly is going on, but this type of stuff is exactly the type of stuff that Dr. Fauci and like this. Honestly, I don't want to go off topic and go off on a tangent or anything like that, but this doesn't make sense to me. The only way that all X, Y, and Z leagues are going to be able to, actually, I can't say that because in Europe, but Europe handled the situation way better than we did. In Europe, they finished. Each of the leagues that came back finished all their seasons. The Premier League just ended. Premier League just ended last weekend. Well, it just ended on Saturday. Serie A is coming to an end. La Liga is coming to an end. All these leagues are coming to an end. They don't have to do a bubble because they handled COVID the right way, as opposed to the way America did it. But because America handled COVID the way it did and just took so long to actually take affirmative action, something like a bubble is going to be needed in order to, get through these seasons. So I think it's foolish for the MLB. And the reason why I think it's foolish for the MLB is because also it's been reported that the Phillies, some coaches and players within the Phillies clubhouse now have tested positive for COVID. You could thank the Marlins for that. I want sports to return back only if it's safe. If it's not safe and you're going to put people in jeopardy to catch COVID, and don't do it. And if you don't have the means and the funds to make a bubble, which I feel like all these leagues that are trying to play have the money to do it, don't do it. Keep these athletes' safety and their well-being as the number one priority. If you're not willing to do that, don't come back. I don't give a damn how much money is being lost. The players' safety need to be a priority. But players' families need to be a priority. And to my next topic. So, just yesterday on First Take, they were talking about the players that have the most pressure on them coming into the restart for the NBA. And this is probably the first list I've actually wholeheartedly agreed with all year when it comes to anything I've seen on ESPN. The number one player that had the most pressure on him, I guess, was James Harden. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. Then it was Giannis. Then it was LeBron. Then it was Kawhi. then it was Russell Westbrook. And I wholeheartedly agree with that list. For one, James Harden has I'm gonna just flat out say it. James Harden is seen as a choke artist. Do I feel that way? No. Is it justified? Yeah. Why? Well, especially after his performance last year. You kept hearing all season long, oh, if we had Chris Paul, all the Rockets players politicking, yeah, if we have Chris Paul, we would have won. If Chris Paul didn't hurt his hamstring, we would have won. Popping it, politicking after they lost in 2018, which I honestly didn't agree with. But hey, they didn't have Chris Paul, so that's them justifying why they shot 1 for like 30 something at one point, missing like 30 straight shots in a playoff game, 30 straight 3-point shots in a playoff game. They got the run back they wanted. Even better for them, KD gets hurt. And KD gets hurt. They still lose the game KD gets hurt in. And then get closed out on their home court. Chris Paul plays all these games as well. Just wanted to throw that out there. So, and even to go back to before that, you know, James Harden has a lot of bad playoff losses on his resume. Last year's, the Warriors beat them without KD, so you know their whole and they had Chris Paul, so their whole running back argument, we didn't have Chris Paul, just looks goofy. 2017 when he flamed out against the Spurs. Every year he lost to the Warriors, and I can't really fault some of those years because I mean the Warriors are the Warriors, but yeah, I mean, don't know what to say. So this is probably one of the best chances he has to right his wrongs and to just scratch the whole notion that he's a choke artist. I personally don't think he's a choke artist. I actually rock with I was going to say LeBron James. I actually rock with James Harden for many reasons. Me and him went to the same college. Me and him are from the same city. Me and him are also both left-handed. Me and him also wore the same jersey number, 13. So I really rock with James Harden. I want to see him successful. I want to see him succeed. But I do agree he has the biggest chip, and he's seen as a player who can dominate in the regular season, but loses his legs and loses momentum and steam when it's time to play meaningful basketball. That's what he's seen as. And the thing about players is that they control their own narrative. If you don't want people calling you a choke artist and attacking your legacy and scrutinizing you, go out there and ball. Don't give us a reason to talk down on you. I'm not going to talk down on anybody. I'm just saying, don't give us a reason to talk down on you. And James Harden is unfairly scrutinized and criticized, blase, but at the end of the day, you are amongst the elite of the elite in the NBA, and your standard, and you're expected to perform at a certain level in playoff situations, playoff series, and X, Y, and Z. And past couple of years, he actually hasn't done that. I'm not going to say he hasn't showed he disappears or anything like that, but in some of the most crucial games and crucial moments, it just seemed that he flames out. I'm going to just say that, flames out. I'm not going to say call him a choke artist or anything like that. The next person we going to politic on, Giannis. It's a no-brainer at this point. We all know what the deal is with the Bucks. If the Bucks don't make it to the finals, the Bucks don't even have to win the finals, the championship this year. They at least have to make it to the finals. If they don't do that, their season is a failure. Okay? If they can't do that, if they can't make it out the East, their season is a failure. And that's all going to fall on Giannis. Giannis at the end of the season will be the back-to-back MVP. And I'm not going to say this is this. Yes, it seemed like last year he had a better chance of winning a chip because KD was hurt. But yeah, Giannis, you have to show out, and it's a no-brainer. We already know the Bucks are a great team during the regular season. Can they do it in the postseason? Can they get over that hump, the Eastern Conference Finals hump, and make it to the finals? Last year they. I'm not going to say they should have made it or they shouldn't have made it or X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. They lost to a good team. There's no shame in that. But Giannis came back this season on a tear, 30, 14, and 5, a tear. Fourth highest PER in NBA history. Leading front runner for MVP, as well as Defensive Player of the Year. Come on, Giannis. Get it together. I want to see you in the finals. I want to see you show out. I want to see you do your stuff. It's now or never, honestly. And not only does Giannis have a lot of pressure on himself to fulfill and to take his team. Not only does Giannis have a lot of pressure on himself to fulfill and take his team to the finals. If they don't win, it's not the end of the world. At least just take your team to the finals, okay? Because, again, he's already accumulating all of these regular season trophies and not trophies, award and accolades, MVP. Like, come on now, back-to-back MVP that still hasn't made it to the NBA Finals. Like, bro, that's kind of like a very bad look, especially considering how dominant of a player he is, and they're calling him the Greek Freak, and, like, you know, people are saying he's as dominant as Shaq. Like, somebody this good should be able to take their team to the finals. And I don't think that he's not that good, but he just needs to do it. Like, it hasn't happened yet, but I know that in the future he'll be able to do it sometime. And again, not only is there a lot of pressure on him to make this happen, but there's a lot of pressure that I wouldn't say a lot of pressure that the Bucks are adding onto him, but the Bucks understand that, okay, if we're not able to at least make it to the finals, the chances of us re-signing Giannis to a max contract, like a hefty 5-year, $300 million, like, it's damn near gone if they're not, because next season, KD's coming back. KD's going to be healthy. Kyrie's going to be healthy. Boom. The Heat will be better. Who knows what's going to happen with free agent this year and then with the draft. The Warriors are going to be back to full strength this year. This is Giannis's best chance to win it. And actually, as of right now, it's his best chance. His best chance would probably be as a free agent if he decides to leave Milwaukee. Because for me personally, I do think Giannis is capable of being the best player on the championship team, but I don't think it's going to happen in Milwaukee. And I know his acumen, he kind of loves the city of Milwaukee, and, you know, it's done a lot for him, and he's grown there. He got there at 18 and transformed into what he is today. But if it's not working, bro, just dip, bro. Like, there's nothing wrong. But he's a solid dude, and he's one of those dudes who wants to play on the same team for an entire career. Well, at least that's the sentiments I'm getting from all the stuff that he's saying in his interviews and stuff like that. But if it's not working, dip. If they don't make it to the finals, he should just leave. Like, honestly, there's no point in just, like, bro, like, what? Like, at the end of the day, you only get one career. Only in championships, like, you never know what's going to happen with your career and X, Y, and Z. So that's why it's always best to continue to put yourself in the best possible situation to win a championship as possible. So, yeah, well, and then also, I think the third person on the list was, who's the third person? Third person was LeBron. I don't think LeBron has the most pressure on. I don't think LeBron has the most pressure on him to win to anything. All I will say is this is probably LeBron's last and best chance to win a championship. There might be time. It might happen next year or the year after that. But I feel like this right now is his best chance. Like, there's probably only one other team that he can honestly think, like, okay, this team possibly could actually beat me, and that's the Clippers at full strength. The Bucks, honestly, 7-game series, I don't think they can beat the Lakers. As opposed to next year, it's going to be so much. The Warriors will be back next year. The Golden State Warriors will be at full strength next year, and they have a lottery pick that they might actually draft a stud, or They might trade that for, I don't know, somebody like Giannis. And I've been seeing in the media that Steph Curry has been trying to recruit Giannis to come to the Warriors, and who knows if that'll actually happen. But again, one thing I want to say is that I'm just so extremely happy and excited that basketball is back. Like I'm literally watching. I'm watching the Nuggets, not the Nuggets, the Pelicans. Oh, that's a nice one, Brandon Ingram. Yo, Brandon Ingram is a hood nigga. He hang out with G Herbo, so you know he be with all the bullshit. But anyways, I'm watching the game right now. I'm really excited. Brandon Ingram just hit a pull-up three, just netted it. And this is where I'm gonna wrap up today's podcast. I really want to watch the game and get lit, get turned, probably take some shots, all that. But for those of you guys who are listening to this podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, or Apple Podcasts, do me a favor. I said favor, and share this joint with anybody you know that loves sports. Share, and share again. If you don't share, I'm gonna hurt you. And if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, it's really simple. Like this video, leave a comment. I talked about a bunch of stuff, so I know obviously you're not going to agree with everything I say. If you don't agree with what I said, let me know. If you do, let me know. And last thing, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and hit the bell notification. It really helps me a lot. It's going to help me shake up the room, run it up, go viral, movie, bow, like Pop Smoke. I'm bringing heat, and more heat. Like I'm about to feed the streets like Roddy Ricch. Who else be feeding the streets? Oh, Dominic Jones. If you really 4PF, you know who that is. But, I don't expect the phonies not to know. But anyways, viral, movie, go Lakers. And yeah, thank you.